Hi, I'm Oishi, and I'm here to talk about Riley Sager's book, The House Across the Lake. Three-fourths into the book, our protagonist, Cassie, says, I literally can't believe this is happening. It shouldn't be happening. How the F is this happening? And girl, same. Because what was this? Alright, so first let's talk a little bit about the summary, the blurb. Our protagonist is Cassie. She is a woman of around 40. She is an actor, not the main chick, the side chick in movies, and also she does theater, and her mom is a big musical theater star, and she faced a tragedy. She started drinking. She made tabloid headlines. There was bad publicity, so her mom exiled her to her family lake house in Vermont, and it's pretty secluded. There are like four other houses, all super rich, and she kind of watches the house across the lake, and she sees something weird. So the story kind of goes from there. Now, we have seen this before, right? Because even discounting the Rear Window reference of Alfred Hitchcock, we saw the woman in the window, and we saw the female protagonist who drinks. And I know some of you are having bad flashbacks from Girl on the Train, like, oh my god, is this going to be this unreliable narrator thing, this not annoying, this very depressing girl drinks all day, doesn't remember anything kind of thing. It's not that, but our protagonist does drink a lot. We're gonna talk about that later, but yeah. So before you go any further, before you know anything else, I'm going to tell you something that is not in the blurb of the book. Now, if you plan to go into this completely blind, if you don't want to know what I'm about to tell you, then you can't really watch this video. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're here, but bye. Click off right now. Yeah, because what I'm about to tell you is important in the sense that if you didn't know that, if you're picking up this book and you think, oh my god, this is a thriller, this is by Riley Sager, yeah, let's do this, and then this happened, you're gonna be pissed, honestly. Because yeah, you need to know. In my opinion, it's not a spoiler, but you need to know. So this book has a paranormal element, it has a supernatural element, and if you didn't know that going into this, I did, but if I didn't know that going into this, it would have been a 2-star rate, max 3-star. But since I knew, I kind of went with it. But god, it's weird, it gets weird now. So I already talked about how the story goes, and there are, female protagonist says something weird, and we can kind of guess what it is, without knowing anything about the book. It's going to be about like a couple and what she sees across the lake, and she starts investigating, and there is another hot neighbor, and she kind of teams up with him, and stuff like that happens. But okay, first of all, as I already said, it has a paranormal element, and Riley Sager, we know that he does the paranormal vibe very well. I haven't read his first thriller book, I think it was Final Girls. I didn't think I would like it from the reviews, but I did read The Last Time I Lied, I did read Lock Every Door, I read Home Before Dark, and about the first two, I felt the endings were pretty wild, but I liked the books, and I loved Home Before Dark because I felt the horror atmosphere of the book, the chilly vibes, the paranormal vibes were exceedingly well done. That is a thriller, but the horror vibes in that book, and also kind of in Lock Every Door, was pretty great. But in this book, which actually has a paranormal element, that vibe not there. It has supernatural, but the horror vibes, the paranormal, that is it horror, or is it thriller, is it ghosts, that vibe that puts you in a very nice mindset to read. it's not in this book, and it actually has a paranormal component. So that is one of the things that is missing if you want to tell it say it from the book. The second thing is, it's, I am speculating, I am assuming, but what it felt like from reading this book is this wasn't really written very seriously. It's like, hey, I have that fun idea and I have another fun idea, so what happens if I throw this together and this book happens? And it's not really, if you're going into this thinking, oh, this must be gritty, or this must be, very chilly, or this must be, super thrilling. It's not that. So what is this book? Now, for the first, I think, 2/3 at least, you are following a pretty common thriller path that we've seen before, investigating, clues coming up, a little bit, some kind of risks and stuff like that. That's all fine. Then we have our first big twist. Now, in thriller books, twists can, they can be revealed differently. There can be, there has been clues all along, you just didn't put it together, like Agatha Christie. There can be something the writer told you, but you made an assumption, and that assumption was not true, and you just made that assumption because it was natural, but it wasn't that. So that happened in, The Silent Patient, which I didn't like that twist. But it also happened in Sometimes I Lie by Alice Finney, and that was really well done in that book. And there are twists that the author just didn't tell you something happened, just omitted that information, and that happens in this book, and that is the twist. Now, I wasn't really mad because it was also something about it was like, okay, I understand that, okay, this could have happened, and the protagonist didn't tell us and still told us all the other things, and it wasn't weird. I know I'm not really putting it very specifically, but I can't do that without giving you spoilers. But my point is, I wasn't mad, but I can see that people might be mad that, oh, this information was there all along and you just didn't tell me, and you're just telling me this now, and it's a twist. So it's that kind of a twist, and I didn't dislike it, but I can see how some people might. So that's one thing. The second thing is the paranormal component, and it's not really scary. It's not really, oh my god, this is super chilly and I'm a bit scared but also intrigued. It's not that. It's kind of it's wild, why the hell is this happening. It's crazy, and I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. But since I knew there was a paranormal element, I went with it. And in the end, after knowing the paranormal element, after accepting that, the book was kind of predictable, because there was only one way kind of this could have ended, and we kind of go with the better ending for our protagonist. But that's about it. There, other than that, there wasn't really a lot of unpredictability, except there is another twist tacked on at the last part of the book that wasn't really, I don't think it made any difference. It didn't make the book better. It didn't necessarily make it worse, but it didn't make it better either, in my opinion. So, and to talk a bit about our protagonist, because we have to do that, we are in our head for all of the book. So first of all, I already talked about it, the tone of the book. It's not atmospheric at all. It's very casual, it's quite flippant. And secondly, our protagonist, I already said that too, that it's not really going to be the depressing, grieving, unreliable narrator, alcoholic woman thing. But she drinks a lot, and she's not really 100% unlikable, in my opinion, but she has very inconsistent thoughts sometimes, mostly about morality. It's kind of, oh my god, I didn't do that thing, and it was the right thing to do, and I am very sorry, and I feel so guilty about this. And the next moment she would do something that is also super wrong, and she's like, yeah, I know this is wrong, but yeah, whatever. And it's like, girl, where is your brain? So yeah, and so that's who our protagonist is. It's not really super introspective, it's not deep, if that's what how I, yeah, that is how I want to put it. It's not super deep, it's just very super casual, and like I said, it doesn't feel like a book that's written very seriously. It's just like some, you know, a couple of fun ideas, and this might be thrilling, so let's put it together, and this book happened. Now it's not in I gave it, I think I would give it 3.5, if I'm being generous, 3.75, because it kept me reading, it kept me guessing for a good amount of time. I didn't hate the twists, and you know, Riley Sager, he's a capable writer, and I have liked his books in the past, and I will pick up his next book if the reviews are not consistently bad, like Survive the Night, which I skipped because we all know that wasn't really liked among the book bloggers, or you know, the readers, honestly. But with this, I would recommend this if A, you are not, you know, you're not put off by the supernatural element. B, you don't expect that it's going to be super scary, or even, you know, unsettling or disturbing, or even a dark or paranormal vibey kind of thing. It's not that at all. It reads like a straight thriller, but it has that element. And 3, if you're not looking for anything that's, you know, super exciting, you know, it's not that exciting, it's just, it will keep you engaged, it will keep you reading, then it will throw a super weird curveball, and in the end it's like, oh, a happy ending, sure, why not? So yeah, I gave it a 3.5. I think it has a 3.64 on Goodreads, so that basically tallies with, I think, what everyone is generally feeling. But I have seen that some people loved it a lot, some people hated it a lot. I fall in the middle, and from what I told you, without spoilers, as much as I could, if you think you are gonna like it, you can pick it up and see for yourself. I have a ton of books that I want to talk about, and I hope I will see you in my next video. Thank you.